I also want to talk about leadership. Maybe there might be even, we could probably say, safe to say there's been a void of leadership as of late, but I'm talking about future leadership. And I just want to read a tweet that you put out. You said, quote, earlier this year, I decided to donate to the Democrats whenever Trump did something cruel, reckless, or strategically incomprehensible. He has exceeded all my expectations. He is responsible for 750,000 to the Dems and counting. And in a reply tweet to that, because somebody said, even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you said, quote, I love AOC. She will be president one day. I will be there when she's ready. I was hoping you could speak to maybe what the future of leadership in this country could look like, should look like.
I think that what we're seeing right now is the disintegration of both the Democratic and Republican parties. And I think that, broadly speaking, that disintegration is really a good thing. I have no party affiliation. I really consider myself an independent, and I value that independence, and I would vote for a Republican. I would vote for a Democrat. I try to vote a person at a point in time. And right now, and my belief has largely been the following, Julia, which is that, politicians at their best are do no harm. Because the real things that move society forward are incentives, and incentives are best designed by people who are experts of policy, not experts of politics. And policy people are folks that have decided to study governance their whole lives because they care about it. And they understand how incentives can drive your and my and other people's behavior. So what I would love is a political class, broadly speaking, across both aisles, who just get out of the way and who don't make things worse, and who allow us to do what we're all capable of doing, which is taking care of ourselves and fending for ourselves. And at the edges, design incentives so that we can take care of ourselves in a more humane and, thoughtful way. So in that context, I spent a lot of time trying to understand where the parties are going. And I think what's happening is that the Republican Party is going to get torn apart because of people's affiliation or lack of affiliation with Donald Trump. Similarly, I think the Democrats are, too beholden to a gerontocracy class that's frankly fading away. It's the reason they lost the election. And I think people are very perceptive of that. So why is AOC interesting to me? Because I think she represents a standard bearer of the movement in the left. By the way, I also think that there's going to be standard bearers, young, dynamic leaders in the right that do the same thing. And what that's going to do is actually create a movement among centrists. And so, the thing I didn't tweet out is I think AOC is wonderful. I think what she stands for is really unique and special. I also think I would say the same thing about a Republican, a young, dynamic personality who has a modern view of economic theory and, social programs, which is sorely needed. But then what will happen when both of those two poles exist at scale is that there is an opportunity for somebody down the middle to unify the country. So I think the pendulum is swinging towards progressives, and then it'll swing back to centrism. I think centrism is where most of the good will be done. But that's sort of my thoughts. But I think AOC is spectacular.